So now that we've gone over 3 different strategies for multiplication, I do want to move into division with you. Before I show you some strategies for long division and things like that, I want to talk about factors and multiples. So factors are the numbers you multiply together to get a number. So you multiply a number by another number, and that gets you a new number. So thinking about that in like a multiplication chart that I have right here, these are your factors right here. Whatever you multiply, you get a product. So we're going to talk about factors. So we're going to think of the number 36. And so what I want you to think about is what times what equals 36. And we always start with what we know. Well, we know that anything times 1 is 36. So I'm just going to slide this over here like this and kind of have a little thing. So I know that like 1 times 36 equals 36. I know 36 is an even number, so that means 2 can go into it. So 2 times 2 times 18 is 36. I know 3 can go into 36 12 times. I know 4 can go into 36 9 times. And last but not least, I know 6 times 6 is 36. So I skipped over 5 because I know right away 5 can't go into 36 because the ones digit is a 6. And then all multiples of 5 end with a 5 or a 0. So I know 5 times nothing can equal 36. So these are all the numbers that can go into 36. Those are the factors of 36. So then what I want you to practice doing is putting them in order, numeric order. So I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I don't need to put 6 down twice. I just need to put it once, and that's good. And then I'm going to go 9, 12, 18, 36. Those are all the factors of 36. So then I want to quickly look at factors of 24. So again, I go like this. I know 1 can go into 24, so I go 1 times 24. This is just kind of like little notes over here for me. And I know that 2 can go in 12 times. I know 3 can 8 times. I know 4 can 6 times. I know 5 cannot. And I already did 6. And I know 7 cannot. So those are the factors of 24. And then again, I'm just going to write them in order. So 1 can go in, 2 can go in, 3 can go in, 4 can go in, 6, 8, 12, 24. So those are all the factors of 36 and the factors of 24. So you're going to start to see this term at the bottom here, greatest common factor. So question's going to ask you like, what is the greatest common factor of 36 and 24? Well, we know the word greatest means the biggest. So what number is common means the same? So what number, the biggest common number that goes into both 36 and 24? I want you to look to see if you can find it. And if you guess 12, you are correct. That is the greatest common factor of 36 and 24. Okay, so that's factors. I am going to come back to factors in a second to talk about factor trees. So I'm just going to put this to the side, and I'm going to get my next one, which is multiples. You are very comfortable with multiples. Multiples is skip counting. So when you multiply a factor by a number or by a factor, you get a multiple. So when you think of 3 and I say write the multiples of 3, well, it's just skip counting. You'd go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So those are the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 multiples of 3. So then I'm going to do the first 7 multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And then now I look at these and I ask myself, now this is the opposite. Now I need to find the lowest common multiple. So the lowest number that's the same in both 3 and 5. So I look to see if you can find it. What is the lowest number that they have in common? You're right, it is 15. So that's lowest common multiple and greatest common factor we went over. Now I'm going to flip this, I'm going to erase it actually, and I'm going to talk to you quickly about factor trees because I'm going to have you practice factor trees. Erase. So factor trees they look like a tree, that's why they're called them. So we're going to start with the number, say it wants you to find the factors of 12. So you'd write 12 at the top. Then what you would do is you'd split it. you would ask yourself what times what equals 12. So I know that 2 times 6 equals 12. I know 3 times 4 equals 12. So I just choose one of those ones. So I'm going to choose 3 and 4. Now, I have to now break this down more. Can I break 3 down anymore? No, it's a prime number. So the only number that can go into 3 is 1 and itself, so 3. So it can't be broken down anymore. But I know I can break down 4. So I ask myself, what times what equals 4? Well, 2. 2 times 2. So then that is a factor tree of 12. So then at the bottom I could write 3 times the 2 times the 2. So I took the bottom 3 numbers and I can double check. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So that's a factor tree of 12. Let's look at a factor tree of 54. So first of all, I have to ask myself, what times what equals 54? And if I'm not too sure, I can always look on here for the number 54, see if I can find it right there, go across. 9 times 6 equals 54. So then I can split into 9 and into 6. Now I have to ask myself, can I multiply 2 numbers to get 9? What times what equals 9? Well, 3 and 3. Can I factor down 6 more? Yes, I can. 3 and 2. Can they be broken down anymore? No, they cannot. So I have 3 times 3 times 3 times 2. And I can just double check. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 2 is 54. So those are factor trees. You're going to see those in your questions. I am going to take a picture of my notebook. I don't have it on me right now to show you, but in the notebook, you do not need to copy all the words. You need to copy the questions and finish the questions. So I will put that on our blog also. Don't copy all the words I wrote out. It's like a textbook. You just copy the questions and answer the questions, and then you post that on FreshGrade when it's finished. Thank you.